Consistent income in your digital marketing business doesn't necessarily come from working harder or adding more services to your business. It really comes down from doing a few things, consistency. Yes, even when you don't necessarily feel like doing it and you're doing it anyway. So I want to help give you just three higher level shifts that will help you actually start to make more consistent income in your business. So the first shift right away is to do income generating work before you do anything else in your business. So you want to actually start the day with what makes you money, not the work that necessarily just makes you feel productive. So if you find yourself checking your email, maybe tweaking your branding, your website, looking through some new tools, organizing some things, consuming some unnecessary content that you believe may help your business, maybe not, then you want to start making a shift into some more revenue generating tasks. So the way that you want to do this, and I'll give you what I do, but I'm also going to give you what you want to focus on. So the types of things that you want to focus on if you want to see this shift in your business to more consistent income is you want to focus on things like sales conversations, follow-ups, whether that's following up with leads that you have right now, previous clients that you've had to re-engage with them, doing outreach, improving your offers, improving your conversions. Those are all things that are related to sales into helping you bring in more clients. That's where you really want to be putting your time. So a rule of thumb for you moving forward is that if it does not, meaning the task, if your task does not directly lead to revenue, then it does not get the first energy of your day. So for me personally, I like that on Friday afternoons, I have a small slot in my calendar where I kind of review what I've done in the prior week, what still needs to be done, and what do I want to have my attention go to in the upcoming week. And I use that time, which really you can do this in like 15 minutes. It might take you a little longer as you're getting started, to actually fill in the mornings of your calendar with the big things that you want to get done. Now, of course, you're going to adjust it for your own schedule. But when you're first sitting down to work, what are the big things that you want to focus on? And give yourself that allotted time before you jump into the other things that need to be done. So at the end of every day, ask yourself, what did I do today that could directly lead to getting paid? And actually, I'm thinking about it. When I created this Consistent Action to Success workbook, the second part of what we are covering in this is actually a tracker. If you have not taken the time to actually track anything that you've been doing, this is really important in order to grow your business. So we look in here at a one-page weekly consistent action tracker. This is very simple, but it's the things that you should be tracking. And it comes down to, did you do it or did you not? And we often aren't doing some of the things because of other things that I'll talk about here in a moment, but we look at our monthly breakdown. What is getting us to the goal? So we're looking at our goals and then we're breaking this down and making it actionable and then following up. Are we actually doing these things? So it's really, really helpful. You can get that. It's completely free. portalentrepreneur.com/action. I'll leave the link down below too. But make sure that you are ending your day asking yourself, what did I do today that could directly lead to getting paid? Did I do something that directly led to more revenue? Even if that's not coming in today, am I putting the things in place to make that happen? All right, shift number 2 is consistency beats intensity every time. So I will sometimes see people who get all motivated and then they start working really hard, lots of hours, they're doing lots of things, and then that motivation falls off or life starts to get in the way and then they kind of drop it for a while and then they come back. So what we want to see is that if you want consistent income, you got to have consistent action, not kind of like these big bursts of motivation and action and then just this total fall off. So that consistent action is what's going to make a bigger difference. So you don't want to necessarily see you perfecting your website or waiting till your offer feels exactly ready, or you feel like you have all the confidence in the world to go out and do this. If you want to make that shift towards getting towards that six-figure mark, you're going to show up daily in the things that actually impact revenue. And I know sometimes those can be the scary things to do because it starts really feeling real. You're really starting to put yourself out there, but you want to recognize that incomes follows the patterns that you create, not just your effort. So you can put a lot of effort into your business and get absolutely nowhere because you're not focusing on establishing the right patterns, the ones that are going to generate revenue when you do them every day. So look at the pattern that you are creating in your business, and is that a pattern that's going to help you get to six figures in your business? You also want to remember that small, daily, consistent actions will start to compound, and those small daily actions, even though they might feel insignificant to you, can actually compound a lot faster than like these big days of like lots of hours and lots of action, and then it falls off. So rather than spending hours and hours and hours, can you figure out a consistent time that you can work, or a consistent amount of time that you can work? And then are you putting down these higher revenue generating tasks first and then filling in some other things? So that's one of the biggest things that I see is people getting clients, and then the thing that falls off is their business. You have to have business time on your calendar, and you have to stick to that if you want to continue to see consistent over time, or consistent income over time, and you want to be able to depend on your business. Never let that business time go. So the question I have for you is that I want you to ask, noted this down here, am I doing something every single day that directly supports sales, or am I just staying busy? It's kind of a harsh question to ask yourself, because if you're used to busy work, you're going to be forced to answer honestly and say, oh yeah, I just kind of kept myself busy today, but I didn't really do anything that directly supported sales. Well, then that's why you're not growing. Shift number 3 is to treat your mindset. I know this word gets thrown around a lot, but there are a lot of things that we think that actually block us from getting to that six-figure mark. So treat your mindset like a business requirement. Your mindset is actually an asset to your business, and you need to treat it as such. You are not unique. You are not alone in thinking certain things that kind of block you from your business. We've all been there, especially when we're starting. There's things that we tell ourselves that keep us from taking the action that we need to. But even as, let's say you get to that six-figure mark, you're going to tell yourself new things that will actually hold you back from going to the next level after that. So if you learn now how to manage that effectively, not just eliminate it like it's never going to happen, it will, but know how to recognize it and then what to do with it, it really will help protect your business. It will protect your revenue. So look at this less like personal development and more like revenue protection in your business. So if you are seeing that you are coming up inconsistent in your business, a lot of times this is normal. This happens because we have a fear of rejection. We hate being told no. I actually have a good book recommendation for that. It's good, quick read. I'll leave that linked below. I highly recommend. It will get you feeling more okay with hearing no so that you start taking action. So read that. If you have a fear of visibility, like putting yourself out there, being known, letting people know about you and what you do, fear of charging more, not knowing, am I worth it? Am I good enough? That fear of being told no, all of that. So if you're dealing with that, it's okay. That's normal, but you don't want to sit in it. You want to learn how to manage that effectively and do that intentionally for your business, for the goals that you have. Because if you're not proactively working on that, you're going to cap your income because of it. So are you so comfortable in those thoughts that you're not willing to work on it, that you're going to cap that income? What do you want more, to stay comfortable or to work on that and be able to grow your income? So ask yourself, what belief or fear am I following, or am I allowing myself to decide my pricing, my visibility, my follow-up? What are you operating from? And is that going to support your business, or is that going to hinder it? Okay. So consistent income isn't necessarily just about finding the perfect strategy or the perfect tool out there. It is, however, about showing up daily, about prioritizing your revenue generating actions, right? Get that on the calendar. Get that on the calendar before you sit down that day. When you sit down, you should already know exactly what you're working on, and then manage that mindset. Not pretend, because it is a business asset. Treat it as though it is a business asset and work on that just like you would work on other aspects in your business. So if you want help not only overcoming these mindset shifts, knowing how to be able to intentionally shift from what's holding you back to switching that to a more positive mindset that is going to really help your business grow, but you also want to be able to help build systems that support consistency through your offer, your lead flow, your client process, everything that is involved. That's exactly what I walk through inside of Next Level, which I will link to below as well. Now, the next step that I highly recommend as well is that you watch my video here, and I will link to this here, and you will go through this to make sure that you are not unintentionally actually turning off or repelling potential clients with one of these very common mistakes that I see. So we're going to talk about what the mistakes are, and then specifically what you do to make sure that you don't accidentally make those mistakes as you speak to prospective clients so you have a higher conversion rate. All right, I'll see you there.